What's up, guys? We are here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Shue.
And it is a day that when it was this time last year, this was probably, if not at least top two, the most anticipated film of the year.
Yep.
And now with all the promotion, we could clearly say probably, if not, the most anticipated film of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely huge. I remember driving to work 2012 when I found out Lucas signed over the rights to Star Wars. Disney has the check. And I was like, wow, like this is happening. Like we're going to start getting Star Wars movies again. And we've talked about Star Wars many, many times on the podcast and in YouTube videos. You know, we're not going to really get in our history with Star Wars, but we both enjoy the films. And I'm just kind of really excited about this. You know, I've been telling you for the past kind of couple months that I'm more excited for the environment. Like I'm ready to see another huge fan movie. I want to see lightsabers and dress up costumes, all that at the theater. Even probably a little bit more than I'm excited for this movie. But I'm hyped to see this J.J. Abrams, the man who kind of resurrected and brought back Star Trek to the modern audience, is going to return Star Wars. So my expectations are through the roof. We have the return of some major characters. We have Chewbacca. We have Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO. I mean, the list is quite huge. So I'm excited to see all those characters as well. What are your thoughts going into this?
I remember when I was at Volcano Tea, and the two guys next to me says, "Oh my God, Disney just bought Lucasfilms, and they say they're supposedly going to make Episode 7."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, I would have heard that." And then I go on Twitter, and I was like, "Holy crap! He sold it."
Yep.
And then all the rumors start saying that we were gonna have Star Wars films
1.6 billion?
4 billion. 4 billion.
Oh, 4 billion.
4 billion. And they're gonna have Star Wars. And I was just thinking in my head, I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know?
I know. I mean, it's and honestly, my mind is I can't think of those audience members sitting in a theater nearly 40 years ago in 1977 and saying, I am about to witness one of the biggest culture impacts, like the beginning of the biggest culture impact ever. I mean, I just read this article, and it's an amazing article, that you could actually live off Star Wars products. Like Star Wars has everything that you could basically live off it. They have soap. They have, you know, everything you need, you could live off of it because Star Wars has made a version of it. I mean, that's pretty incredible, the fact that this movie has had such an influence on our culture and for such a long time. And to think that, yes, we've had shows and books, but, you know, 6 movies have really kind of gone on to tell the story, and now we're getting a 7th. It's almost kind of like you're messing with history a little bit. It's really going to be an interesting night because of how historical it is. I'm sure theaters are going to be packed. I'm sure people are going to be dressed up. We might even catch some saber duels. I don't know, but I am excited for this movie. A lot of new actors that I'm really impressed with. Lupita Nyong'o will be in this picture. Not quite sure what she looks like yet. I do know that she's doing a stop motion. I am excited for Oscar Isaac, who's coming off Ex Machina this year, which I really enjoyed. And we have also the other 2 main characters. We have John Boyega and Daisy Ridley. So I'm pumped. I mean, I don't know much about them as much as I do Oscar Isaac and Lupita Nyong'o, but I'm fairly intrigued. And with this trailers and everything looks really good.
It looks phenomenal. I think everyone's excited about it. Pre-sales wise, they announced that they did a little over 100 million.
Yep.
Movie hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah,
so that gives you an idea too
amazing.
That they can do 100 million before the movie comes out. That shows you like how many people want to actually see this.
Yes.
And that's not even, I'm pretty sure, and I don't even know if people would disagree. I'm pretty sure all those people are just the Star Wars fans. So once all that hype train's over, now the rest of the public can finally watch it.
I think it's people who are Star Wars fans, and then the people who just want to be a part of it. You know, I mean, I think there are a lot of people like me. I mean, I enjoy the Star Wars films, but I mean, I don't have any posters. I don't own any. Like, it's not something that I really live by. However, like, this is going to be huge. I mean, to think about it, you know, maybe not right now, but in a couple years from now, this moment will be talked about. So I'm really kind of excited for that. Just like those people who sat in the theater in 1977 were like, oh, I'm going to go see this movie. Little did they know that they tell that story, and it's like hearing a legend that they actually sat in the theater for the original Star Wars. It's just right now we have to worry about the balance of young and old, right? We have to see if they'll be able to really not hang all of their weight on the older characters. We have to see if the newer
characters, the torch,
right,
or pass. The lightsaber.
The lightsaber. We got to make sure that the newcomers are good and fresh because, one thing we've learned about Star Wars fans, especially from the original, they're a little bit, they're a little bit cautious when it comes to other stuff and when people mess with their universe. When Phantom Menace came out, everyone's like, yeah! And about like a couple months later, they're like, you know what? That wasn't very good. Yeah. And then they just that disdain kind of kept going through 2. Where I differ from most Star Wars fans is I really don't like 3. And that seems to be everyone's favorite of the prequels.
Of the 3.
I of course, love the original 3, 5 being my favorite, which is mostly everyone's favorite. But, after those, I was never really, on the edge of my seat, super excited. They never left me that huge, aha, So I'm hoping this one does. And, we're going to be continuing this for a while, every other year. We have an episode, and then an anthology, and then an episode.
No, they call it now Star Wars Story.
Oh, that's really nice.
No
I like that better than anthology. But I don't know, man. We're just going to have to see it and see what happens. I mean...
It's funny because I never seen 4, 5, 6. And then the Phantom Menace came out. Then I watched 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, those are cool. Wasn't jacked up about it. And I liked Star Trek better.
Yeah.
And then... Because
you were a Star Trek fan for...
Yes, I was already a Star Trek fan. So I was Team Star Trek. Saw 1, 2, and 3. I said, yeah, I could totally see why people like it. This is awesome. It's good. But that's it.
Yeah.
But the craze behind it, I didn't understand. And then I just watched 4, 5, 6. I did a marathon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we lead up to Miss Daisy Ridley and Part 7. And man, talk about if you're not grown up with 4, 5, 6, it's not even watchable.
Wow. You don't think it was watchable, huh?
I didn't. I watched it and I was just like, gosh. And it's my criticism with it isn't even fair. It's not fair, and at least I can understand that. Yeah. I think the graphics are horrible, and then everyone always says the thing that everyone says. Well, back in the day, and I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that just watching it, it looks horrible.
Did you watch the Blu-ray edition? Still didn't go for you? I think there's some things in the Blu-ray edition that are questionable, but I mean, nonetheless, Star Wars still means something to you. The name still means something to you. So hopefully, this would be the movie that really kind of hooks you, because I'm interested in. I think most people will never turn on the originals. I would be in utter shock if people came out here and were like, "This is better than the originals," But I think it has a great chance of being better than the prequels. So I'm interested in seeing if this is going to be
But that's really not saying much because people don't like those.
Yeah, but you do.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in seeing if you're.
But even those aren't
the
great
Star Wars
though.
movie ever. Yeah, that's true. But it's still enjoyable. For most people. So I'm excited to see if this will be your favorite Star Wars movie. I hope it's my favorite Star Wars movie. I hope it's better than 4, 5, and 6. But I'm just a little bit more cautious about that. But nonetheless, I've been waiting over 365 days. We both have. So you think we should just go in the theater?
Longer than that.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been insane. And hype. I mean, I gotta think, how do you beat the hype of this now?
You can't.
Yeah.
No, it's impossible. And so many people make such good points that, and you went on a little bit, that this is going to sound so lame.
Yeah.
But this is like a moment in history.
It really is.
Episode 8, however much money this movie ends up making at the end of it, Episode 8 may make more.
Yep.
But it'll never be the hype train it is right now at this moment, because like you said earlier, you have all the ones that are loved 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
All those older people are going to be here. People like me who liked 1, 2, and 3 are going to be here.
Yep.
And again, that will never happen the way it's happening right now.
Yeah, and unlike the prequels, we're going back to those originals and bringing in those characters, and that's making it feel even more like, man, those people who have dedicated their life to this series and collected. I spoke to a guy whose collection ranged to $100,000 of just old toys and things like that, and he the fact that he's going to see Han Solo and Princess Leia again gets him emotional, and I understand that, and I totally respect that, because when you love something like that, it makes sense. And to think that these characters have been away for such a long time, to see them back in that universe, it's kind of not only exciting but a little nerve-wracking too, to kind of be like, all right, JJ, we're putting this in your hands, you and Disney.
Think about all that pressure.
Yeah, I know.
Pressure to make that diamond.
But wouldn't it be awesome that the guy it always been Star Trek and Star Wars, and the guy that remade both, or not remade, but brought those films back to a modern audience, was able to make them both solid? That would be really cool. He did it with Star Trek. I enjoy the new Star Treks, and I'm hoping he does it with Star Wars.
All right.
I'm ready.
How long is the movie?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. Let's see after we're done if we're going to want to be on the dark side
or the light.
All right, so we just got out of Star Wars The Force Awakens Episode 7.
Yes, and don't worry, guys. I know most of you are probably all cautious if you've not seen this movie yet. Spoilers. We're going to have a moment where we talk about spoilers, but we'll announce it. So we're going to do our best to be spoiler-free during this section. So it's okay to watch this.
Okay, so number one, this is my favorite Star Wars film out of all of them. Right, so better than 4, 5, 6. But again, if you heard the beginning,
yeah,
it's not really fair.
Yeah,
and at least I can admit that, unlike other people. So I thought this was definitely no. I don't think anyone's gonna say this wasn't better than 1, 2, 3. But I'm gonna say this. I already know how I feel this way. I don't think this was the best movie of the year. Yeah, I know that. When I left Mad Max,
man, he gave you your heart and then ripped it away.
When I got out of Mad Max Fury Road, I said, "What the freak did I just watch?" I said that. I was like,
and you watched it 5 more times.
Something like that, all in the theater. And then this is probably going to happen a few more times in this movie. For sure, I know that.
Yeah.
But this movie, though, was fantastic. I loved it. I thought the pacing was great. I wasn't bored. I'm watching it the whole time. John Boyega, he was funny.
Yeah, Finn.
You know, and the comedy that Abrams and Kasdan and all them that they had in the movie, they weren't doing deliberate jokes. But they had funny moments. I felt that I was like, okay, I like this. See, I was laughing at that. The sisters, man, bad review. Anyway,
that's a review we already did. You can check the eyes or the description box.
But so the comedy was was there. I liked it. It was PG-13, so we got a lot of a lot of sword play or lightsabers and all that. That was awesome. Daisy Ridley, ooh, she's gonna be big. I think Daisy Ridley is going to be big, dude. And if all she ever does is Star Wars films, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, until...
She'll be like Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, that's the girl from Star Wars.
But the lucky part for Daisy is they're doing these... Disney said, Bob Iger said, as long as these are making money, we will not stop making them. So you and I will be dead, and they'll still be making these. And the interesting part is going to see how they're going to transition.
That'll be interesting.
Into, like, how do you take this? Because they've always said that the episodes are about the Skywalkers. Mm-hmm. So how far, I'm so curious, and we'll never know because we ain't that important. But I'm so curious, like the timeline, because like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're currently in phase 3.
Yeah.
But they already have it planned out to phase 5.
Yeah.
I'm so curious, like how far in advance they have an idea anyway of where they want to take this story. But my favorite part of this movie that is going to make them an absolute fortune is this guy right here. BB-8 had so much character. Doesn't speak one lick of English, but this guy has so much character when he's sad, when he's mad. There's this one part where he takes his little flamethrower out. That's not a spoiler or anything, but he takes a little flamethrower out, and he just has so much charisma, so much character. John Williams did what John Williams does.
Yeah.
They had a couple of mentions of Vader. That was cool. That's not spoilers. I just mentioned it a couple times
in the trailer.
Yeah, so that was cool. Kylo Ren, I liked him. I thought he was a really cool bad guy. I'm sure as you talk, I'll think of more. But overall, if you don't like Star Wars, you're going to be about to be on the train, I think.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's just doesn't like doesn't like Star Wars, and just goes because of the hype train, is going to leave saying, okay, I could get on board with this. Okay, I can see where I can see what's going. Oh, in my last part, and then I'm done, I promise.
No.
Is the number one reason why I love film. In that theater, as soon as the Lucas films, and it's everyone's being nerdy, and I don't care who you are, you just love it. Yeah. And then the part where Han says, "Chewie, we made it," from the trailer, and then Carrie Fisher, and that's what it's about, man. And then the opening crawl, of course.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think that
that's what it is.
Before anything I talk about this movie is that this is why I will, when people ask me questions about movie theaters, I will never turn away from them, because it's movies like this that you need to experience with people. Because I saw this movie at a press screening that had very small amount of people in it, and I saw it, I enjoyed it, but then I came here to the midnight with all the fans and the fanatics,
Full house,
and
not DJ Tanner.
When the music kicks in and Star Wars hits the screen, I mean, you could just feel the excitement and the emotion from everyone in the theater, and it was like, wow, like this is going to be like you said, dude, this is history. Like everyone is about to witness something that's probably going to be talked about for 40 years. I mean, it's a real possibility. So please, don't wait for it to come on DVD. I'm telling you, it's worth the money. Ask for some AMC gift cards for Christmas, and then come see this movie because it is so worth it to see in the audience.
Because you're not going to be at your house.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to do that.
And then I was in a theater with a very small group of people, and though a lot of them were Star Wars fans, it didn't still have that same reaction. Like those moments with that cheer and those screams and those and those moments really, really make this movie to a new height. Kylo Ren, let's start there because that's where you kind of ended off. I thought was a huge force in this movie. Actually, to be honest, I think the best thing that comes out of Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the new team. It is Finn, it's Rey, it's Poe, Oscar Isaac's character, and Adam Driver. He is so good. Everyone in this movie is just so good. They're so energetic. I think this movie perfectly balanced nostalgia and freshness. I think in a way, it might sound weird to a lot of people, The Force Awakens reminds me of Creed a lot because this movie and Creed both take nostalgia, take something we all love and know, adapt it a little bit, but give us what we want from the olden days, and then give us something fresh and make a completely new beginning. I mean, exactly what you said earlier. They totally passed the lightsaber here. This is a new beginning. In a lot of ways, I see this movie as A New Hope. I see it as Episode 4 all over again. It's not, verbatim like New Hope, but in a way, it gives us that beginning of a story, the starting of this journey we're going to go on with these characters. And as much as I loved seeing my characters, and even though it was kind of sometimes sad to see that they've aged, and and the time has gotten the best of them. It was still really amazing to see them pass that torch. Everyone brought it in this movie. I think that the action sequences were great. There's really only one major duel in this movie.
At the end.
And I mean, it is mind-blowing. I mean, everything about it, its pacing, like you said, was dead on. The way that they... just the way they give the audience what they want, but they make sure they do it so... I don't want to spoil that part, but it's just such a proper, here you go. And we all know, that's just a great moment.
You know what else is good, too, is one of the criticisms in Phantom Menace was that the lightsaber scene with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and whoever, Qui-Gon, was so choreographed, it just looked like it.
Choreographed, yeah.
This one's messy.
Yeah.
And you could tell it is choreographed, but it was messy choreographed. So it makes it look real.
Yeah. And on one of those lightsaber battles, we have a person who's never really carried one, and it definitely looks like that. It looks like someone who's never carried a lightsaber is wielding one, So that's really good. The music is really solid. If you love Star Wars music, it's Star Wars music. I don't think he gave us much of new things to fall in love with. It's more of oh, I love this song, I love this song. What else do I want to talk about? Honestly, it was just really the chemistry between the new team and BB-8. I mean, it's amazing, and
every kid that sees this movie for Christmas will say, "Mom, I need the BB-8."
Well, every person who sat in the theater in 1977 is going to sit in this movie theater, and the way they saw Han Solo and the way they saw Luke is they're going to see the same way they're going to see Rey and Finn. Everyone that feared Darth Vader is going to fear Kylo Ren, and Snoke. All of that is going to be there, and all that feeling. I could just totally see those young kids in the movie theater, meeting those characters for the first time, and the older ones being we've seen these characters, but this is for the new generation. But it never disrespects the older series. It's totally beautiful. I really loved it, and it's so much fun. It's a blast. Do you want to go to spoilers?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So spoilers.
If you haven't seen the movie, do not watch this.
Spoilers.
And come back and watch it once you've seen it. Okay, spoilers. Wow.
was Snoke? This isn't the big spoiler. Is Snoke supposed to? Is he being projected? That's
I believe he's projected.
Or when we see him,
because to be honest,
he's gonna be 25 feet tall.
Yeah, because to be honest, that's one thing I don't like about the movie. I don't like him. I love Andy Serkis, but I don't dig him. He honestly feels like he's out of Harry Potter. That kind of character, right?
Well, he looked like Voldemort.
Yeah, and it's just all right, I don't really kind of dig this. I'd rather just be a regular guy. Like the Emperor. He was an ugly old guy, but he was, but I was I don't know. But I'm assuming he's being projected. So hopefully he's at least a normal-sized person.
In my head, I was thinking when I was watching that, how funny would it be that he does that to intimidate them? And then when we actually meet him, he's actually no bigger than Maz Kanata.
He's Oh, Maz Kanata was so good. Lieutenant Nyong'o, as small as her part was, so effective. Just the total wise woman that tells us all the thing. Yeah,
she knows Yoda.
She was. I enjoyed so much of watching her, and that also was a really great moment when we actually find Luke's lightsaber. That's a really powerful moment. And I think one of the best deaths in Chasing Cinema Choice Awards, we have a best death. And I think that one of the nominees is definitely going to come from this movie because, yes, unfortunately, as I hope all of you know, we lost the Star Wars veteran in this movie, and it was Mr. Han Solo.
Harrison Ford out.
So how did you feel when this was happening? Because this movie, watching it the second time around, they definitely are like, all right, this is happening. And they tell you well in advance, Like, they're just kind of prepping you, and you're just waiting for the moment to happen. I don't think anyone was shocked, like, once that lightsaber's in his hand, that's where it's going. But how was you feeling? What was your emotions? What were you thinking?
My problem is because I didn't care for 4, 5, 6. I have no emotional attachment with him. So when he died, it's just like, oh wow, they killed him. I thought they would wait till like episode 8.
Yeah.
But no, he said, I'll do one more, but you're giving me Indiana Jones, and you're giving me what I want if I do one more for you. And Disney said, whatever.
You know what? The first time I saw it, I mean, when you were talking about earlier, Harrison Ford has said in the past, like, he believes Han Solo should be killed off, and this was a rumor going into this movie. It didn't take me by surprise, but it definitely was an emotional moment. I mean, you find out in this movie that Kylo Ren is actually the son of Han Solo and Princess Leia. And like that moment where he still forgives him and kind of touches his son's face is like a really like heart-wrenching, like, oh man. Not only is because Han Solo, as much as Luke is the good and Darth Vader's bad, Han Solo was always like the favorite. Everyone loves Han Solo. So I think it was the perfect character to kill off. Because if they would have killed off Leia, I don't think it would have had the same response necessarily. And same thing, I mean, Luke obviously, but killing off Han Solo I think was the smartest choice they could have done because how many people just love how much of a badass he is. And that sticks to the end here, except the one thing that kind of stops him is the love for his son.
So Rey's father is Luke Skywalker. We assume.
We have to assume. Well, here's the thing. That's a good conversation. Is me and you were talking about it very briefly. I don't know. Like from what I remember, there was talks that they were twins. That the Solo had twins, and one was Kylo Ren and one was Rey. But that doesn't make sense in this movie because Princess Leia and Han Solo see Rey plenty of times and never kind of give a hint that might be their daughter. So that would only leave Luke, which I guess would work. But to be honest, for me, I think it'd be more satisfying that she was just an outlier. That it wasn't like a family passed on trait because it's starting to get to the point where everyone's related to everybody. You know what I mean? And I know in the originals, it kind of seems like like you even said, it's about the Skywalkers, and it's about that family.
They've said that's what these episodes are supposed to be,
and that's what that family's about. So we'd have to assume, unless there is someone that we don't know about, unless there is a third Skywalker we don't know about wandering around. But I think that would be much more to go. To me, honestly, I would think I'd be more satisfied as a fan for her to just be like, she's just a chosen one. Like, she's the start of a new bloodline, and Skywalker's going to give her everything he can. But I would assume it's going to be a daughter.
And then what happened to C-3PO's red arm?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
we have to find that out.
Yeah, he lost his arm in some situation.
Yeah.
R2-D2. C-3PO got a huge pop, though. I mean, I was amazed. Like, Leia got this really nice pop, and then C-3PO cuts in, and the place just went nuts. Like, he got a bigger pop than Leia.
He woke up.
Yeah. R2-D2. That was really fun seeing them too. BB-8, I mean, that was great. Even their re-interactions, BB-8 and R2-D2, is just like so nice and so fun. Totally gonna sell millions of dollars of toys.
I wonder how much money Mark Hamill got paid for this movie. Because he's not even in the movie for 1 minute.
Yeah, because at first it was like, oh, the new Star Wars movie is starring the original cast members.
All three.
And then it was like, it's a glorified cameo, and we all seen that like Mark Hamill's in this movie for probably a minute and 30 seconds at max. And how did you feel about that moment? It didn't hit you.
If anything, I think they should have cut it right before they showed his face.
Oh,
we already know it's him. So it's like ding 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 cut.
I will say that I wasn't a fan of the huge wide shot at the end.
How awkward would it be for me to do this high chasing and hold it the whole time?
Well, honestly, like, all right, so like, granted, they don't pay me the big bucks for a reason. They pay JJ for the big bucks for a reason. But if it was me, like, I was hoping that he would extend his arm, and then we'd see the lightsaber jiggle and then cut. Like, I just want to see Luke use the Force, Give
me that.
Yeah, no, just like he's feeling that. But the expression on Luke's face, though, I think does tell a lot. Like, it's a very beautiful look, and there's a lot of pain and a lot of like hope in it at the same time. But I think that's what I'm going to describe the new characters. The new characters in this movie are a new hope for Star Wars fans.
Yeah, it really
is. It is taking them to a new level, and I'm just so ready to go on this journey with these guys. Like, that's how I honestly feel.
It's crazy because in less than a year, we already have Rogue One. which happens after 3, before 4.
Yes,
Still
which
in the Death Star
I believe
plans.
comes out May next year.
And then literally 6 months later, episode 8.
Oh man!
How fast is that?
I know, and that to me, as exciting as that sounds, it's just like always kind of like all right, well don't go crazy because eventually you're gonna have one that doesn't gel well. And I mean, I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but just being realistically, the more you put out, the higher that chance is, So I would have much rather gone the long route with this and just kind of waited a year or two and then seen the next one.
No, I'm glad every year from this day forth we'll have a new Star Wars film.
Yeah, of course, and I'm sure a lot of Star Wars fans will agree with you. But I think in storytelling ways, it might have been a little bit nicer.
There's certain people that are saying that they'll eventually do what Marvel's doing, how Marvel was just 1 year. And then they're eventually now they do 2 or 3 films for Marvel.
Yeah.
That they're gonna do an anthology and an episode every year.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a lot, And then, when we're doing a movie on, like C-3PO, we're gonna be like, all right, guys, come on, But I have to agree with you, and I should have said it a little bit earlier, but I loved Star Wars. The second time round really pushed this movie for me. Like it really got over
In a positive.
in a very positive way. But I would also agree that this movie is not my favorite of the year. To be honest, I'm not even sure if it'd be on my top 10. It's a wonderful, fun movie, but at the end of the day...
Don't think that's a negative thing.
No, it's not a negative thing because there's been some amazing things out of this year. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of films that were executed in a very, very beautiful and incredibly great way that I can't not ignore. Because I think a lot of this is, you have already based emotion. You have, all the hype going in. You have the fandom. You have that feeling of just seeing the Star Wars characters. There's a lot going in this movie that really puts you over. Not saying the film doesn't do a great job, just being a great film. But I think the film is really, really good, but not perfect in the same sense. I mean, even you said, which I was expecting you to be like, this is my favorite movie of the year. I mean, it definitely has, it's a solid, great film, a great addition. It fits right there. I'm sure for most fans, it's going to sit right there below the originals, but way above the prequels. And I think it's going to be a great start to it.
I was talking to all of our friends, and everyone said they liked it better than the prequels.
Yes.
And they liked it better than either 4, but there was always 2 more that they liked better.
Yeah. See, I would probably put 4 and 5 above 6 in my book. So for me, it would go 5, 4, 6, 7, 2, 1, 3.
Well, I'm about to piss people off. The best one is number 7.
Yes.
And then I'll take 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4.
Okay.
4 was so slow for me. I was like, oh.
But I mean, this is a movie that you're gonna have a blast watching. You're gonna have so much fun. If you are a Star Wars fan, bring your kids, bring your family. Like it's something that you could really share. Like that's what I got out of this. Is just I had a great experience with people, and I constantly, and me and you are here every week, and we say the movie theater is the place to be, and like that's the moment that proves it when everyone can share that experience together. I love this movie. I think it was just a lot of fun.
It's beautiful.
I have very little. I mean, like there's a few things I wasn't crazy about as far as characters.
This girl's gonna be so big.
She's going to be huge. Like you said, though, I just hope she doesn't get caught being Star Wars girl. Because she is so charismatic. She is so, and then there's such like a feeling of mystery about her too. Like you're just like, I want to know more about you. Like,
yeah, well, what's going to be hard though is because we know that it's at least a trilogy for these characters.
Yes.
And I honestly, at least I don't know, but we'll see, I guess. I can't even imagine them just ending them after 3.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be literally 6 years. That's going to go.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm hoping she's at least balances out like Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence, perfect example. She was in X-Men, Hunger Games, and still did Academy Award-winning movies. So I'm hoping she hops on that train because as of right now, I'm hooked on her. Charismatic, likable, fun to watch. And again, in this movie, obviously it's her character more, but just being mysterious, not really knowing where she comes from. We've seen glimpses of her history and seeing her being pulled away and telling him, come back. Who that is, we don't know yet. But I'm so interested.
She keeps on wanting to go back to Jakku.
Yeah, exactly. And waiting for someone who she has to admit that isn't going to come. So
I wish they made a BB-8 this size.
That would be
the one
amazing.
from the movie.
I'm sure by the time the third one comes out, we'll have a BB-8.
That size?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll buy it.
Yeah. I'm sure it won't be maybe as it won't be as advanced technology-wise, but there'll be one that could follow us around.
No, but if it can have a remote and stuff, I'm all in.
And Domhnall Gleeson was the only other character I wasn't too crazy about in this movie, who plays like the other bad guy with Adam Driver, who again,
Hux.
I don't know. Yeah. Adam Driver, again, is great, but Domhnall Gleeson wasn't
He's
crazy
not a
about.
good-looking guy, Adam Driver.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I don't.
I mean, I don't think he's hideous, but I think I've seen him look better, but I think you don't want him looking too pretty. You know, you got to kind of make him look a little bit dark. How about him? I mean, I think there's a lot of good. Like, I am expecting a lot of him now to be like the ultimate villain because, as we all know, there are probably 3 or 4 people you could be like, that's the biggest like that's the villain. If you want to talk about a bad guy, you use these people as an example: Captain Hook, Darth Vader, you know, so on and so forth. And I think Adam Driver is gonna be a really great villain in cinema.
I'm so glad they didn't kill him like Darth Maul.
Oh yeah,
yeah, well, because we didn't even get to meet Darth Maul.
Yeah,
and even Kylo Ren, I didn't. That wasn't enough.
Well, if formula goes how it should, and history repeats itself, Kylo Ren is going to get some mean-ass revenge in the next movie. So, you know, and that, of course, has to happen. Like, that split, like, fate literally, in this movie, you know, with the Force is actually all around people. It creates time, you know, it literally separated and said, not yet. It's not time yet. So it's making us wait for that epic battle that I honestly think will be, if possible, could beat Luke and Darth. I mean, that's what I'm expecting from this.
Dang.
I mean, this fight alone was so amazing, and we're just learning about these characters. Can you imagine when we're fully invested in all of them, and we see them just go head to head? You know,
can we get her a Darth Maul staff? She's already good with the bow staff.
I dig her with Luke's thing, though. I dig that, you know. But we'll see. And I'm hoping. I think the one thing that I didn't get as a Star Wars fan that I really, really want, and I know we're going long, is I would like, hopefully, to see Yoda in some form or shape.
It would have to be a ghost, right?
Yeah. A ghost or whatever, you know. I mean, just a voiceover.
Ghost spirit,
yeah.
thank you. Force spirit.
Force spirit. Anyway, shape or
Newbie.
form. You know, I just need Yoda. You know, I think like most people, that's another major character. But
all right, so watch the movie. ChasingCinema.com/
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Full review.
Yes.
We did Sisters already online.
Yes.
And
this is gonna be it for us. But next week will be Christmas and all, or at least some of the.
Well, we also will have we have Las Vegas is one of the ones we have the road show.
Yes, the 70mm print. Town Square.
Yes,
is the only theater.
In Vegas.
In Las Vegas that's going to have it. So if you want to go see it,
and we will do the review on that. And it will be this year.
Yes.
And I projected, I projected will be. Maybe not on Christmas, but the next day at least.
Yeah.
Right. and then of course we're gonna do our annual top 10 films.
Yeah, we'll do that. Of
Maybe
course.
Top 5 because we just talked too much.
The only thing about that is we have to wait till a little bit after January because films like Joy, Revenant, and I think a few others are going to be coming out in Las Vegas a little bit later than usual. So, but that's going to be it for today. You guys have a great holiday. Go see some Star Wars. My name is Jacob Toronto. This is James Shue, and Chasing Cinema, the film lovers website. May the Force be with you.